Yuki and John's Patreon birth.
All right. Okay, Yuki. This is your suggestion today. This episode.
Okay. Well, I just
it popped up in your mind. But if people don't like it, guys, you got to blame Yuki for this one.
Okay.
But it's not a controversial topic. It's actually, we already did TV. So now we're going to do cable and streaming. We're going to talk about cable versus streaming.
Okay. Remember when the cable started, like 80, 30, 40 years ago?
I remember.
Like HBO and Showtime and then
Cinemax.
Do you remember the
Z Channel. So I never had Z Channel, but I saw the documentary, and I wish that I had Z Channel. They were showing so what? Okay, what was Z Channel? Z Channel was like on cable.
That wasn't cable, and then originally remember the movie, German movie Das Boot?
Yes.
That was actually Z Channel miniseries before it came out in the movie.
So I always wondered because Das Boot has two versions. It has a shorter version and then like a 4.5 hour version.
Right, it's a long version. That was originally Z Channel showed it.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
So Z Channel, though, was that all over the country or was that just West Coast? I forgot. In the documentary, they say what it was all about, but I feel like it was more of a Los Angeles thing, right?
Well, that time I was living in Los Angeles.
Okay.
I don't know what was the area, but
the guy who curated that whole thing, didn't he die in a crazy way? I feel like he died. I think he got
really?
murdered.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? You got to watch this documentary.
Okay.
It's really, really good. And I think it's on like Tubi or something.
Oh, okay. Maybe I look for
the Z Channel. Okay. And what I did after I did watch that thing, I went to Letterboxd and I found a list of all the movies that Z Channel ever played, and I saved it so that I could sort of chip away.
Oh, I see.
Because they showed a lot of crazy shit that they weren't showing on
regular channel, right?
Yeah. A lot of foreign movies,
right,
a lot of just things that it sort of like reminds me of the Criterion collection. What he was showing, that guy, the curator of Z Channel.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, Z Channel is gone.
I know. That's why you have to. No joke. Okay, so streaming. Since we're talking cable versus streaming,
right.
One of the best streaming services is the Criterion channel. It's fucking awesome.
Okay, so those system, like good and bad, my personal opinion, like the cable used to be like, what, $30, $40 a month? But the streaming is cheaper. And then around that time, I remember I was reading some kind of article that George Lucas once said, in the future, people don't go to the movie theater. You stay home, and then all the movie are connected to the computers, and you just order the movie from the home. Then you watch the movie at home. So, in the future, we don't need a movie theater. That's what the George Lucas said. Then it is happening.
It's happening, yeah.
And then streaming, it's good to be cheaper than cable. It's not like...
But really, is it? Because now you need 50 streaming channels. I mean, I'm exaggerating about 50, right. But you need... I have multiple streaming channels, and some of them are up to... Netflix is up to almost $20 a month, and that's pretty expensive, right? I don't even know what cable costs anymore because I haven't had cable in 10 years.
Right. Well, now these days it's combined because you remember that you buy cables and all the package, right?
Well, they do. Some of the streaming channels do give you cable channels.
Right, because I have Max.
Max, yeah.
And, I don't have a TNT, but I can watch...
You can watch
basketball on TNT.
Yeah.
It's connected.
Yeah.
So I think some kind of different system now, right?
I think that they're just slowly combining the two things, cable and streaming, to be one thing. I mean, you could get a free service like Pluto, say, Pluto TV. They have,
and then Tubi is free too, right?
Tubi is free, and they have all kinds of channels. All kinds of local channels.
Right.
I think you can get Channel 5, Channel 4, this, that, and the other thing. On top of it, I just recently got a TV antenna. a digital TV antenna. It's right behind my TV.
Right.
And I got it because I couldn't get MeTV anywhere. You know MeTV?
MeTV, yeah.
I love MeTV. I want to watch my Svengoolie. I want to watch my MASH. I want to watch the Carol Burnett show.
And then ION.
ION.
Yeah, and then, if you missed the NCIS or FBI and they showing
They
it.
show it,
ION,
yeah.
like Hawaii Five-O.
Yeah, the old
day
school
long,
good
yeah.
shit, right? What's on there? Perry Mason, Twilight Zone,
Right,
Star Trek,
right.
all this shit on MeTV. So when I got my digital antenna, you hook it up to your TV, and it downloads like 72 channels you didn't even know you could
Right.
get free.
Oh.
All free.
And then movies TV.
Yes, they have the Movies TV
Yeah.
free channel.
I love that.
The first day I put that on, The Principal was on with Jim Belushi. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Fucking great. I hadn't seen that in years.
And then every Thursday, all day long, film noir. Every Thursday.
All right, I'm going to tune in on Thursdays now.
Yeah.
But so, cable and TV. Let's think back to the origins of cable and then think back to the origins of streaming and how they've sort of converged. So when did you first get cable?
What do you mean when, like, I was...
So cable came out in what, the late 70s?
No, I think early 80s.
Early 80s, around there. So
Right.
you got the cable. When did you actually get it? Did you wait a few years? Did you get it immediately? Were you just obsessed with that? Because, I mean, TV is amazing. Shit.
I think, I was studying broadcasting, so I kind of researched how cable started.
Oh.
That's interesting. The reason cable started is this country, United States, of too big. So network, network channel can reach everywhere.
That's why you have a bunch of local affiliates that
right.
pick up the programming.
The local
Yeah.
station. But, big mountain, like Rocky Mountain
Yeah.
in the middle of America, or it's just huge. So somebody started cable, so you can see network TV where the signal can reach.
Okay.
That's how cable started.
Oh, so it was for places where regular TV broadcasts couldn't reach, so cable started to run into the no man's land,
Right.
sort of. Oh.
So it's like a physical reason, like a geography reason.
Oh.
That's how cable started.
Ah, that's amazing. I didn't know that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
But then the whole world figured out that was just a more efficient way to bring the cable in, right?
And then so instead of, so you pay, there is no commercial.
Right, that was the big deal. Is
Right.
that you get the movies for
Right.
no commercial, this and that, and the other thing.
But then, if you pay, there should be no commercial. But that's not happening now.
No, I mean, there's still channels that...
So, after 30, 40 years, like, you pay, but you still see the commercial.
Yeah, you pay, you see the commercial, it's the son of a bitches. They just want to milk every
the
penny.
streaming, there's always program. Pay this much without the commercial, pay this much less with commercial.
Yes.
So it's
And
totally
then, I looked into that for Netflix, right? Because they had... So they got rid of the DVD thing, right?
Right.
So I just went to look and see, okay...
Oh, that's right. Netflix used to be made, right?
Yeah, they closed it down in September. Final DVDs went out. And those fucking pieces of shit, you Netflix motherfuckers, you said that we could get up to 6 discs in the mail for free. And I put the best shit at the top of my thing. I didn't get a single free disc except for one. I got The Girl Can't Help It from fucking 19 whatever, which is a fine movie, but you promised me 6 to 10 and I only got one. Fuck you. I was in that fucking Netflix DVD club from the beginning. And I deserve to get a couple of Japanese horror movies like Kwaidan that I wanted.
Oh.
You fucking pieces of shit, Netflix, you fucks. I'm going to delete my entire fucking... All right, anyway, so Netflix, I looked at the streaming package packages now.
Right.
They have a ad-supported one where you get ads, and it's only $6.99 or something like that.
Oh.
But in the fine print, it says, not all programming will be available to you because some of that programming doesn't want advertising on the program. So you're opting into this ad thing, and if you don't read the
Right.
fine print, there's going to be locked content. That sucks. But then, the next up is like $15.99 or something, or
Right.
$16. That's a lot for Netflix. I mean, what do they have, like 3 good shows now?
I know.
What the fuck?
And a bunch of shitty program from third world. Who cares, right?
Well,
But
actually, you know what? I saw that. I was like, oh, maybe I'll get into Bollywood now. They have a lot of Bollywood
Bollywood
shit.
shit?
Yeah. I saw some Bollywood stuff. I was into it. You don't want it? You don't like that
No,
shit?
no, I like Bollywood. I mean, the Bollywood, the action is great.
Yeah.
And then funny thing is, every single show has a singing and dancing. It's
Yeah,
like a
you
musical.
can't get away from it. Yeah,
Right.
even the Freddy Krueger one. That
Right. and then the so dynamic, the way they do singing and dancing. It's not just a couple characters or 10 people. No, it's whole town, whole city, whole country
Dancing
just dancing and singing. So that's great. It's
love it.
amazing. Yeah.
So with cable, okay. So what do you have right now? And do you have cable now?
No, I don't have cable, but I have a streaming service, Disney Plus.
Sure, of course. You need it for the Star Wars hate.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then Max.
Max, yeah, we got
And
that.
then I have Prime.
Prime, yeah, you get
And
that. I mean, that's
then
worth it
Netflix. But I kind of rotate.
for what you're obsessed with.
Right, because when, I want to see this program, then you just... And then for a while, I mean, many movie overlaps, If I can see same movie in Tubi or...
Sure, some of it you can.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't... So then I see new one, and then the next month I don't pay.
Right.
And let it go.
So you drop it and then pick it back up again?
Yeah.
That's smart. You know what? I should do that because certain months I didn't even touch Hulu
Right?
for like 3 months. Yeah.
So it's always like a rotate. So constantly I have 3, 4, but not all of them.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's a good idea. You don't need them all at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
So just I say, gee, I have nothing to see this month. So I just
Go look and see what Netflix is doing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That's a good. You know what? I'm gonna fucking follow Yuki Nakamura's streaming service Fiesta.
So
That's good.
that's good, right?
Yeah.
And then I kind of a mixed feeling about the streaming. Like, remember when we watch the TV or cables or the program, you see 1 week, and then continue next week.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
especially like 24.
Okay, 24. Yeah, that was a
the
serial that
serial,
left it on a
right.
cliffhanger.
Right, and then kind of exciting. Oh, gee, I have to wait 1 more week to see.
Yeah.
how
Lost.
this goes.
Yeah.
Right, Lost, the same thing. But streaming, whole season, whole 24 episode, it just come out in same day, just 1 weekend.
And then you have to sit there for a whole week just
Right,
watching all in a row. Yeah.
I kind of
You miss the days of the
Yeah.
old. Yeah, I like the anticipation and
right.
waiting. I try not to binge a show for longer than maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then at that certain time, it's like, what am I even getting out of this? I'm just like fucking a zombie on the, But then again, I like to watch movies,
Right.
2 or 3 movies in a row if I can, when I can.
Right.
So
I mean,
it's weird.
movies okay, but the TV series, unless it's TV miniseries, I don't want to see. But now these days, everything called the miniseries.
Oh my God, you can't fucking watch a documentary anymore without it being 4 or 5 parts.
Right.
And half of these documentaries don't need to be 4 or 5 parts.
Right.
They fuck it up.
So I think they kind of purposely.
Yeah,
you
to
know,
suck
so-
more out of your time, your money.
And then instead of, I don't know, those TV series, called season 1, season 2, like that. And then season 1, season 2 just come out in only 6 months parts.
Yeah. that is-
Instead of whole year. So I just don't like they're just doing
they're
it.
beating you over the head with the
Right.
content, right?
And so people just keep.
But you have to, because there's so many people in the world that there needs to be that many things because my mother, she loves Hallmark Channel. Like that's her jam.
Oh.
So that's made for people like her who just want to watch Hallmark. Then people like you and me, we like to watch weird shit. So we got the Criterion and the
But you know the Hallmark, they show Christmas movie now all year.
Oh yeah, it's like Christmas in July, Christmas in August.
So that's kind of pissed me off. Like, oh no, used to be they showing a Christmas movie only December.
Right.
No, they showing every year.
Fucking because people love it. Women. Well, not just women. Maybe there's men too, but women like my mother love that shit. It's like uplifting stories.
But watching Christmas movie in August,
she just fucking leaves it on. It's almost like just like. There all the time. I sat down and watched a couple of them. I said, this is like what it is. But okay, so when I was a kid, I got cable like in 1986 or 85 because we didn't have cable up until that time. We moved from Brooklyn into Floral Park, New York, Long Island, and we rented a house there. And my parents were like, you know what? It's time. Let's get some cable. And I remember they got the TV guide for the cable, and I could not believe that I was going to be able to watch Gremlins like at home because I saw Gremlins in the movie theater and I fucking loved it, but I didn't see it since then. I didn't rent it or anything. But the cover of the TV guide that I had with the cable was Gremlins. And I was like, holy shit. I watched Gremlins 20 times. Because it was just always rotating on, say, HBO or something. And it was a fucking eye-opening thing. I was like, I could actually repeat these things. And then I would start to tape them off TV, all the Police Academy movies, all that shit. I would tape the ones that I liked and just be able to rewatch them over and over and over again, either when they were played on cable or when they were on my VHS player.
Now, when you tape VHS, you keep the old movie or you tape it over?
No, I have still, to this day, at my parents' house, there's a whole cabinet full of stuff that was taped from TV. So
VHS?
much, yes, VHS still. So much stuff. I just looked at it like last week when I was there. All kinds of shit. Like I said, all the 4 Police Academy movies on one tape. You get The Last Dragon. You remember that movie with Bruce Leroy? Just all taped from cable. And I want to go through them one day because there might be some interesting commercials that are on there that like they're time capsules of VHS tapes.
You still have a VHS
right
machine?
here, right below my TV here. I have a VHS collection in the other room. I'll show you later. I got the fucking Freddy Krueger movies. I got all the shit. A lot of horror, a lot of comedy.
Well, when I was moving from Los Angeles to New York, I had a whole box of VHS, and then I don't have a machine, so
So that's why I started recollecting VHS, because when I moved from from LA back to New York, I had a box full of tapes, great shit, like Dead Alive, Peter Jackson, I had Day of the Dead, a lot of good fucking movies, and I gave it to a thrift store.
Holy shit.
Because I just was like, VHS is dead. But now I'm sitting there and I start to get nostalgic and there's a place to collect. And then I had a few at home and I said, why did I get rid of those good ones? Those were So now I started to rebuild my collection.
Holy shit.
It just makes me feel good, even if I don't watch them all the time. I just look at them and I love the box art and shit. I just like to have it. It makes me feel good, Yuki. You got to do things that make you feel good.
When you're 70.
Yeah.
And then you look at this bunch of tapes. Why did I keep these?
No, I'm going to say to my kids, I'm going to say, hey, you guys take this shit and you might be able to make $4. You might be able to get $5 for a coffee.
You know that some of the tape, some collector's item cost more than
human life. I mean, some people value these items more than people. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's fucking... So, back to cable. What were, like, your go-to things back in the day? Because I used to go wildly careen around the whole channel thing. You remember that box?
Box, yeah.
And it had the click, and then you had to switch it to the next row with that other thing, and then you clicked again.
Right.
I used to just click for hours.
And then remember that you give cable guy $50?
Oh, the hot box?
Yeah.
Dude, when that happened, I got the Spice channels.
They connected you for, $50.
They connected you for 50 when they had those boxes.
Right.
Seriously, the Spice channel and the Playboy channel, when I had that in high school, it changed my life. I used to slap myself silly to those
You,
channels.
you gave the cable guy money?
My parents did.
Oh,
I mean, I think that the statute of limitations is up. So, but everybody had a hot box in their house.
Right.
Like every pay-per-view channel,
Right.
it just was the thing. And I think people knew. Everybody knew.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would get the pay-per-view channels. We would get the cable channels. And like I
Right.
said, Spice and Playboy. Know what I mean? And
But I mean, then, those Playboy or those soft, right? I mean, just
Playboy,
Topless.
I remember, yeah, but it was great. There used to be this show called Night Calls. You ever watch that show?
no.
Oh, it was great. It was like a talk show with these two hot women. I remember one's name was Julie Ashton. I forgot the other girl's name. And it was like a sex advice show where these two hot girls are just on a couch, like rubbing each other up and down, talking about just sex, and people would call in and get advice. It was
I think a
fucking
friend of
awesome.
mine, he did the props for that.
For Night Calls?
But
Wow,
this
can
is
you
the
get me in
thing.
touch with Julie Ashton? She's like
They
the
don't-
fucking
they don't-
hottest
they
women
don't-
I've ever made.
They didn't hire a straight guy.
Of course, why would they? The straight guy would just be walking around with a boner all day.
Right?
Now. Yeah.
He was gay, so didn't bother, like totally not interested.
Yeah, because you know what? I understand that, because if I were working on that set, I would just be like the whole
Couldn't
time.
do your job,
You
right?
couldn't do your job. You'd just be like, yeah. No, you just can't get it. No.
Well, but same thing. I said, gee, I wish I could do that. They go, no, Yuki, unless you're gay, they don't hire you. They like, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it was a great show though. I remember watching it, and it wasn't even about like the. I mean, it was about the fact that they were hot, and then they would have like
Right.
other porn stars on, and it was whatever. But it was a good show, and it was good advice. Sometimes they would say like, just
Right.
how to it's sex advice. And as a 15, 16-year-old guy,
Yeah.
watching that, you're just like, this is the fucking greatest shit ever. Yeah, Playboy wasn't really hardcore, but even the Spice Channel back then wasn't hardcore. They would cut out the dick and the pussy shots. They would only show like the
They
thrusting
cut
and
the
shit.
editing, but or
Yeah,
they put the
no
form?
pixels.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just like they would cut,
I see.
and then it's changed over to real hardcore later.
Right.
But it didn't matter. I mean, you give me a good lesbian scene.
These days, you can just go internet.
Well, now you go
for
on the
free.
internet, yeah, and you just
Yeah.
slap around 24/7. I mean, it's a problem. Anyway, so cable, yeah, okay. So you got the hot box.
Right.
What I used to love watching. It was like the precursor to the Science Channel. I forgot the name of the channel, but they used to have all these educational programs like Nova. I mean, I think that was PBS, but they had all these other shows, and I used to watch those, and then it slowly morphed into the History Channel and shit.
Oh,
That was
that's
amazing.
right. That's right. They become like a History Channel, Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
You
All
know,
the
those-
prototypes
the
of those
right,
were interesting.
right.
I remember it was like Channel 21.
Oh, yeah. And then Shopping Channel or
Oh yeah, the late night infomercials.
Right,
I used to
infomercials.
watch those and not buy anything because they were just fucking interesting.
Yeah.
with the knives and
Right.
all that shit. Did you do you remember any of what the channels were? I remember 6 was HBO. 37 was the Scrambled Playboy channel.
Gee, I don't remember the number.
I remember. And then it's morphed into remote controls after that.
Right,
You didn't
after
need the
box,
box
right?
that
Yeah.
you were wired to.
Right.
But I liked the box. The box was fun. And then you would
It was.
fight over the box. Me and my brother, it's like, it's my turn. That shit.
I see.
Yeah. Okay, when do you remember getting like into streaming channels? It was probably Netflix, right? What was the first streamer?
Yes, it's only like 5 years ago.
Oh, that's it? That's when you got...
I don't think 10 years ago.
Maybe. I feel like it was 10 years ago.
Well, 10 years ago, that was a mail thing, right? CD.
They still had DVDs going.
the
Yeah,
mail.
yeah.
So it wasn't like today's.
I don't
system.
remember when I switched over to Netflix streaming. Yeah, that's like a blurry memory. That's weird.
Right, but less than 10 years?
I guess so. That's fucking weird because it's such a big part of our lives now, these streaming
Because
services.
I moved to New York 10 years ago. That time I didn't have Netflix.
Okay.
And then I can't remember exactly when, but I have a Netflix. When I had first time I had Netflix,
Actually, you know what,
it
though?
was already streaming. So.
So I think it's more than 10 years because I remember at work, when I used to work as a dispatcher in L.A., me and my friend would be in the same office, and when Netflix started streaming, we just would like put a movie on a laptop in the corner. So like we watched Blood-Sucking Freaks from Troma, things like that. They used to have these weird underground movies on Netflix, and those were the ones that were streaming.
So streaming was 10 years ago?
I think 10 or more. I mean, it might have been like 2009 or something like that, because that's around the time that I was in that office. And I remember vividly putting on Blood-Sucking Freaks, and we were both like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Because I had never seen that movie before. And it was one of the first streaming things that I watched on Netflix. So yeah, maybe a little bit over 10 years, but so then you started to collect streaming services, right? I think right now, like I said, Criterion Channel is my favorite. I love having TCM because they have a streaming service and they rotate their movies out really fast, but they put out all the good shit.
TCM, you mean Turner Classic?
Yeah, Turner Classic Movies.
Well, I don't have it, but I have a Max.
Max has a shitload, but you know what they don't have? The Ben Mankiewicz intros. I love Ben Mankiewicz intros.
What's that? I don't
Ben
know.
Mankiewicz from TCM. He's one of the hosts.
Oh, the host guy.
Yeah,
okay.
all the hosts are great on TCM. They give you the information.
What's his name?
Robert Osborne.
Yeah, Robert Osborne.
Yeah, he was my favorite. But Ben Mankiewicz has won me over for sure. He does a great thing with Mario Cantone. They did some Betty Davis movies and shit for October. I love TCM. They just really they introduced me to so many good movies that I would never have watched, like noir shit.
Right, they have a genre like a noir or foreign film.
Yes,
they have a bunch of Kurosawa movie too.
Yes, they and then they sometimes go into the old school like science fiction, like Them, those kind of stuff. And it's just sometimes I'll just see a thing and I'll say, "Oh, Burt Lancaster's in this. Let's see what it's all about." I don't know anything about it, and then I end up loving it. Brute Force, great shit. But Max, there's a big controversy with Max, and I want to get your opinion on this because as somebody who works in the industry, so what Max is doing, or this is more Warner Brothers, the guy like Zelensky or something, he took over, and what he's doing with certain things is burying these movies. So, for instance, Batwoman. Did you hear about this?
No.
So Batwoman was almost finished movie. It had Brendan Fraser in it. I think even Michael Keaton makes an appearance, and the woman who plays Batwoman. And as a tax write-off, this guy just buries the movie. He's not going to release it. Nobody's ever going to see it. He's just burying it for a tax write-off. What do you think about that? Do you think that's really unfair to the people who put their heart...
son of a bitch.
Right, that's a son of a bitch move, right?
Yeah.
Just so that they could sort of like... Because I guess the thought process is if we put out Batwoman and it tanks, then we wasted all this money. But we only wasted a certain amount of money now. We could get some tax money back and then move forward with whatever fucking plan they have.
Well, if you want to do that, do something else.
Like what? What would you do? Because I think they did it to a few different movies, and now there was another movie they were going to do it with, Wile E. Coyote from the Looney Tunes. There's a movie with him, and they were going to bury that too, but the filmmaker said, you know what? Why don't you give me the option to shop this almost finished product to other movie companies so that we can finish it? And they gave him permission to do that.
I mean, I'm not the tax expert, but when I was with the Universal, and then parent company was Seagram. You know what they did?
What?
They told us, every employee, millions of people all over the country, right? They ask us to buy, I think, 150 or 200 worth of Seagram product.
Oh, what?
So, every December we go out, I don't know, 2 million people, employee, we buy 200 Seagram product.
What's the Seagram, like ginger ale? Seagram's
ginger ale, or, those old drink.
7 and 7.
Yeah. And then reimbursement, so we get the $200 back. That's
crazy. So you're buying it as the employee, and then they're giving you the reimbursement, but it's just to pump cash in? But how is it, if they're paying it back, how is that the cash?
I don't know. That's how I say I'm not the tax expert,
Right.
but that's how they did. So 202 million employees, so $200 million. So Seagram spend $200 million, and then I don't
Write it
know how
off somehow?
write off the
That's wild. So I guess the idea in this WB thing,
right.
where
They
they're
could
not,
do something. So
yeah, because if they release the movie, they have to spend at least as much as the budget of the
Right,
movie was,
right.
and probably more, plus residuals and all this
Right.
stuff. So he's cutting that off and just saying we're gonna just make out on this somehow without releasing it.
well, maybe then tell employee buy Warner Brothers DVD
figurines, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you get the reimbursement, something like that.
Wow, that sounds crazy. But what would you be really pissed if you worked on a movie and it didn't come out? Because you got paid.
Yeah.
I think certain people should be pissed, like the actors who, they need that for the
Well,
resume.
I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but there are some movies
That-
I worked on and never seen.
Really? That never
Yeah.
came out?
Never came out, or even came out and then I didn't see. Or
Yeah.
I mean, I have like a Blood Diner. I'm not proud of that movie.
Can we put that in the episode?
I don't know. I don't have that movie in my resume either.
Really? Blood Diner, man. That's a classic.
What's classic? Okay. What's good about even the
It's great. You did the-
Ashley in Arkansas?
Yeah.
She even says that's a great movie. Like
It's fucking cool with the Egyptian goddess at the end, and they're serving the people, and it's a good movie, Yuki.
well, I wouldn't think. Well, I was there all behind, and then the behind the scene that was like a shittiest. Well, that was the first movie,
Yeah.
and then I already felt this is the shittiest movie I have ever worked in. That
Oh
was the
my
only
God.
first one. See?
Oh my god.
So
Some movies you think don't deserve to be released.
I wouldn't say
Exactly.
don't deserve, but sometimes our effort doesn't pay off. I mean, equally, any movie, shitty movie, good movie. Our effort is the same thing, unless you're son of a bitch and lazy filmmaker,
Yeah.
but. If normal person, normal film crew, our effort is that okay, this is my job. We do the best, and then if you're not producer, director, you don't have much control. You can do your best in your part, but result whole movie could be the shit.
Because other decisions.
Right?
Yeah.
Those you can't control. So
Yeah.
But is bad. But I don't want to just trash whole.
Because we don't know if the Batwoman movie was bad. They
Right,
just
we
didn't
don't know
finish it,
that.
or we don't know if the Wild E. Coyote movie is bad. We just didn't finish it because they were trying to. There's also kind of getting under fire on Max because they're taking down content that's never been released on, say, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. So they're burying this content. That means that you can't see it at all. You can't see it because it's not streaming anywhere. It's not on any physical media. And the people who made it, there's one cartoon guy that came out and was very upset. He says, now I have no option for any way to make money off of this thing that I thought maybe I would have some residuals for.
But can you tell? Oh, this is a good movie. This is gonna be good, make money, or
you can't tell unless you release it. Like honestly, I don't. And personally, you never know if it's good or bad internally. You could have a feeling that it's good or bad because the people that work on it usually have a kinder eye to the piece because they worked on it, they slaved over it. But when you release it to the public, that's the real opinion, I think.
But when you're making it, this movie gonna be good. Oh, this movie gonna be suck.
Sometimes, I mean, you never know. Yeah, exactly. There's been times where I'm sitting, making something, and I go, "Oh, this is gonna be horrible," and then when it's actually done, I say, "Oh, it actually turned out pretty good." Personal shit. But you never know because sometimes, you put so much energy into it, and I think it's really fucked up. The most fucked up thing is burying things that will never see the light of day, and certain people need that release to keep them going, unless they made like a deal where they said, okay, you could use this for your reel or something like that. Otherwise, they're just taking away revenue streams and all sorts of things from people who wasted years of their lives on this shit.
Sometimes they didn't release it, keep it. Then later, some unknown actor became a big star.
Oh, and then they release it?
Then they bring it back. That happens sometimes, right?
Yeah, there was this famous example of this movie that Leonardo DiCaprio was in, and this guy made this movie with them, and they didn't want it released because it was like really bad. But then the guy, once they all became famous, he started to try and put it out, and they like stopped it legally. But you could find it online.
What movie was it?
It was in black and white, and I forgot the name of it. I could look it up. But yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio's in it. Not Toby Hooper? What's the kid from fucking Tobey Maguire? Tony Maguire. Tony Maguire?
No, Tobey Maguire.
Toby. Yeah. Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's in it. And yeah, they just didn't want it out. I'll look up and see what that is. But so what now do you're saying you watch like sports and stuff. That's all on streaming. You don't need regular cable for that.
Right. Even last week I was watching Clippers game, and that was on TNT. I don't have TNT. I have just Max.
Right.
But Max has a live sports, program, and then that's part of the NBA basketball, and then which was on TNT was showing. So,
can you watch the Super Bowl that way and shit? Like, but
if it's Super Bowl, you can watch regular network TV.
Do you still have regular network TV?
Yeah.
How?
Well, because I have an antenna.
Antenna, you do. Okay, right. You do have an antenna.
Yes.
So you could get the Me TV, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You watch Me TV?
Me TV, ION, and then...
Yeah, okay, good.
And the movies, TV.
Okay, so you're like me, where it's like, let's try to get some free shit, too.
Right, free shit, and all the Pluto, Tubi, of the all, antenna TV has it.
Do you watch The Simpsons?
You know what? South Park, Simpsons, I never seen it.
Come on, you've never seen it at all?
No.
Never.
Well, there's some show I never seen. South Park, Simpson, Lost, Seinfeld. Those I never seen it.
You never hold on. You never watched Seinfeld?
No.
You've never watched a single episode of Seinfeld?
Not even seen.
But you watched the shit out of Friends.
I love Friends. I've seen all the episodes more than once.
I'm sorry, but Seinfeld's better than Friends. No offense, none taken. It's definitely, I don't care who you are. If you think Friends is better than Seinfeld, you got to screw loose.
What is I don't even know who is in Seinfeld.
Seinfeld. He's in Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, Jerry. Okay, well.
Michael Richards, even though he went and did some bad things on stage, Kramer's an amazing character. George Costanza is one of the greatest characters ever made in any medium.
I'm sorry, I never seen. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my god! So wait, and then you never watched The Simpsons? Not even back in the day, like when it was a phenomenon.
I mean, sometimes I see the news, like Simpson episode, kind of predicting the future.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, they have some of that.
They do, like Trump becoming president.
Some of
they
them are
did that
creepy,
years ago.
Yeah.
So I know that kind of thing, but I never seen the program.
So when I say "I caramba," you have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, what the hell is I caramba?
Don't have a cow, man. You don't know what I'm saying.
No.
Wow. Yuki, I think you might like The Simpsons, to be honest. It's fucking awesome. It's hilarious. It's not stupid. Like South Park, I can understand why you wouldn't want to watch that, even though I think that's a very smart show. I can get why that might not be your cup of tea. It's my cup of tea, but The Simpsons is like, it's like a classic sitcom, especially in the early shit.
I mean,
you just don't like cartoons.
well, I wouldn't say that, but I never seen Futurama either.
Yeah, Futurama's all right, but The Simpsons is like, it's like classic. If you know the Honeymooners, I Love Lucy, The Simpsons.
Well, I love Lucy. I
put The
Lucy.
Simpsons on the same level as that shit. The writing is so smart, especially in the beginning. I mean, I think you might chuckle at Homer Simpson if you.
I don't know. I mean, I always liked I Love Lucy, but.
If you like I Love Lucy, you'll love The Simpsons.
Oh, really?
No, I don't. I mean, I just think in terms of all-time classic TV shows, that Simpsons is right up there.
Maybe I don't like the comedy. You know, it's a culture thing too. Maybe I don't get the.
But see, The Simpsons though, they got deep. They had very good lessons about life. They got. I understand what you mean. Some of it's a little goofy, but The Simpsons really got deep in sometimes and said some interesting things about life and existence. Especially like you said, the predictions and shit, just things like that came out of that show are phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, only comedy thing I liked that I Love Lucy or Lucy Show. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Do you laugh?
Yeah.
You do? So you're sitting watching TV alone, say, and I Love Lucy comes on and you start going, ah, ha, 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 ha. You do?
Well, I still remember like Lucy and Vivian, they're working in the chocolate factory.
Yes. Great. Yeah. They couldn't stop. Wouldn't stop.
They up the chocolate and then so fast they couldn't.
They couldn't. Yeah.
I still.
You still love that shit?
That shit, yeah.
You know, Pluto has a whole channel devoted to I Love Lucy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just like 24/7 I Love Lucy episodes. It's great.
And then I still remember this William Holden was in one episode.
He was?
He was.
Oh, shit.
And then, Lucy was in a coffee shop, and then, William Holden was sitting in next to booth. And then you never think, William Holden, the movie star,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
In that show, oh my God, Lucy put the cake or pie or something in
his face.
Yeah.
Oh shit! She knew how to She knew how to work. She knew what she was doing. So I just looked it up. The movie is called Don's Plume. DON''SPLUM.
I never heard.
1996. Controversial and buried. You had Kevin Connolly. Remember from Entourage? He was in it. Tony Maguire. It says, grab your popcorn. This is the Leonardo DiCaprio movie that the Titanic star doesn't want you to see.
Before the Titanic, then this.
Yeah,
one.
right before. In 1996, the so-called Pussy Posse, that's what they used to call themselves, the Pussy Posse, acted in an improvised film called Don's Plume. No contracts, no script, no nothing. Then 23 years later, the guys who made it, Don Wheatley and Tward Beckham, tried to release it, and they buried it. Like, Tony Maguire's lawyers came out and were like, I'm Spider-Man, you can't have that shit. And so they buried it. But I think you can find it on online.
Okay,
somewhere.
now, he made it. Doesn't he own the movie?
But DiCaprio and Tony's...
they're bigger now, huh?
Their lawyers, they could sue me and you for no reason. I mean, we're just sitting here and we mentioned DiCaprio. That probably because we mentioned this movie, they could sue us. We should edit this out.
He get why that bad movie?
Well, I don't know. I never watched it, but I know that it happened.
Could be good, right? No.
If it was good,
hope the director get the paid.
I don't know. We'll have to read about it. We'll do a whole episode on Don's Plume. What a horrible title too. They should have just called it Tony Maguire.
Tony, it's not Toby. It's Tony.
No, it's Toby.
Okay.
I'm just an asshole. All right, that was cable and streaming.
Yes.
Any final thoughts, Yuki? Any last thoughts about cable and streaming?
Well, I say TV, good old times.
I love TV.
Yeah.
I love just watching shit. And I used to love, what I used to love about cable is the idea that you don't have to go searching, because sometimes I search forever on a streaming service. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. But cable, you just put it on and whatever you got, you got. That was the best.
Right, and then plus, the network TV always free. That's what
Yeah.
the TV is. Then, if you have to pay, don't put the commercials.
Yeah,
son of
fuck
a bitch.
commercials.
Yeah.
We don't want to watch this shit. We don't want to see no commercials. I've had enough of those fucking Excedrin headache commercials.
No, we have to pay and then still watch the commercials.
Yeah, what
That's
is this bullshit? So everybody out there listening,
Well, if you say so, even the movie theater, you pay and then you watch the commercials. That's a fucking
it's getting
asshole.
outrageous about how many goddamn previews you see.
Right.
Oh.
And then sometimes you have to watch those crap like 15, 20 minutes before the movie.
Last time, when I went to Barbie over the summer, me and Liz went to see Oppenheimer and Barbie. Before Barbie, it was a half hour. A half hour of previews. No joke.
Oh my god.
So you're sitting there for a fucking half hour going, okay, there's a new Mission Impossible. Okay, there's a this and that and the other thing. It's like, shut the fuck up. I don't care anymore. That's why nobody went to see the Tom Cruise movie. Because they showed it too many commercials for it.
Did you see Barbie?
Yeah, I saw Barbie. Yeah. Barbenheimer. I did the Barbenheimer.
Well, what do you mean? Like a Barbie and then Oppenheimer see
Same
together?
day. Yeah. Double feature.
Oh my god.
We went from one theater to the
Okay,
next.
the Oppenheimer was like a long.
Yeah, it was like 3 hours. We just did. I turned to Liz at the end of Oppenheimer. I said, "You won't just do it. You won't just see Barbie." And she's like, "Yeah," and we did it.
Did you see Killers of Flower?
Saw that, yeah.
That was like a 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was a long movie.
Oh, by the way, you told me to. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, me too.
And then it's interesting. It's kind of DiCaprio's character's point of view, right? Whole thing is.
Yeah.
But I was expecting more mystery. But since it's his point of view, I thought the mystery part is gone because it's really...
Because it's all about...
we are already inside the mystery.
Yes. Well, I like that. I like that part of it. I thought that it's interesting that you get to see it from a complicated character's point of view because Leonardo DiCaprio's character in that movie is extremely complicated. It's not good guy, bad guy.
Right.
It's like he obviously loves his wife, but he also obviously is fucking her over and her people.
He wasn't loving her in the beginning, right? He
fell in love with her.
He fell in love with her.
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of things in there that even though he was an evil piece of shit, he still loved her. And there's evidence in the movie where they show that. So it was really interesting. De Niro's back. I mean, he's finally acting again. It was great. I loved it. All right, so that was cable and streaming.
Yes.
Everybody out there, go get the Criterion Channel. Go check out the Z Channel documentary.
Okay, I will check that. So you Tubi, right?
Tubi. I saw it on Tubi. Maybe it's not there anymore, but you can find it.
I look for it.
All right, we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Yes.
What?